Yeah, what's up? We got Arrow Season 2, Episode 9, Three's Ghost, what? So this episode starts off with, Oliver, it starts off with Barry, Felicity, and Diggle working on an unconscious Oliver, where Oliver sees Shadow. And Oliver wakes up to see Shadow, but he's strangling Barry, and Barry's kind of shocked that Felicity let his secret out to Barry, and Oliver's like, "You told me my secret," and he's like, "It wasn't your secret to tell." And she's like, "We didn't get your vote as you were unconscious and dying." And he's like, "What if you go to the police?" And he's like, "What? He wouldn't do that." And Barry's like, he wouldn't do that. So he's like, what about when you brought Deke here when he was poisoned with Kiari, and what about when he brought her down to the Arrow Cave, as they call it now, to when his mom shot, and Oliver's like, and Barry's like, your mom shot you. I love Barry. Already Barry's my favorite character. But anyway, so he's like, are you considering putting Arrow in him? And he's like, yeah, I'm considering it. And he's like, job. He's joking. So Barry gets a call about, Oliver gets a call about Roy, and he goes home and sees Thea with an injured Roy. And she's like, the vigilante started to use him as target practice. You're right, he is a psycho. Weird the show chooses to go between Arrow and vigilante so many times. It's just like, choose one. Either he's the vigilante or he's the Arrow. Which one do you want him to be? Anyway, Oliver sees Shadow again, and she says, hey, he's like, hey, you're not here. And she's like, stop fighting, take off my father's hood. And he's like, I choose to wear the hood to honor your father. And we never find out what he says after that. Just kidding, we do, but it's a spoiler, so I'm going to go on to island stuff. So we get a flashback with Oliver, Sarah, and Shadow, and an injured Slade who switches, as I said before, between blackface Slade and grizzled burned face Slade, which is really weird that they do that. So they decide to give him the Mirror Crew, which causes his eyes to bleed out, as happened in the last episode, which caused Oliver to cause the Arrow to call Roy not to look into it. So then Ivo shows up and looks at Slade and says the Mirror Crew worked. But then he kidnaps Slade and Sarah and Shadow, and it's like, and Shadow is like, and no, Sarah is like, sorry, getting confused between the three S's in this show. Shadow, Slade, Sarah. It's so confusing. So then Sarah's like, if there's anything we've been through, you won't kill her. And then he's like, he won't kill her, Sarah, but Oliver might. And he's like, what? And he's like, it's time to choose, Oliver. Who lives? Me, Shadows. He's like, Oliver, boy, you have to choose if you want to save the life of your girlfriend, of your ex-girlfriend's sister, or the girl that you've only met for like how many days in the show. So Oliver's like, you got what you came for. Just take it and go. And I'm like, yeah. I'm yelling through my phone, which is where I review this show. It is where I review this show on my phone. And I'm like, dude, Oliver's right. You got what you came for. You can just go and leave these two alone. I agree with Oliver calling him a psychopath, because he is. Why would killing Shadow and Sarah mean anything to this guy? Why killing this guy, killing them would mean anything to this guy? So Oliver choosing for Sarah, and Ivo kills Shadow. And Oliver Slade wakes up. Slade obviously wakes up, attacks all the guards, and finds Shadow's dead body. Yeah, so Oliver. So Barry. So then we see Barry, Foley, and Diggle all talking about about Barry keeping score on all the bad guys they defeated: Dodger, Huntress, Count Vertigo. I don't know why they keep calling him Count Vertigo, even though he was the Count before. And yeah, R.I.P. Vertigo. You will be missed. Probably not, because you were a psychopath. Anyway, so Oliver Barry reveals to Oliver that he's not imagining them. He's hallucinating them, and he's not hallucinating. He's seeing them in his own mind, which causes he reveals that someone is mass producing the Mayor Kudu, and Diggle's like, yeah, there's some guy named Oliver explains about Ivo, who he was, and why he wanted the Vertigo, why he wanted the Mayor Kudu, and Diggle explains, hey, maybe he's back in Starling City trying to push it again, and Oliver says, nah, that can't be true, and Diggle's like, why? And he's like, because Ivo's dead. Okay? I guess at some point in the flashback, someone killed Ivo, according to Oliver. So Oliver decides to contact Lance and talks to him about where Sarah is. Thinks this is about where Sarah is. Where is Sarah? One, we never saw her leave Starling City on screen. So did she just decide to leave off screen? Because I don't remember her saying anything about leaving on screen. I guess she's somewhere, but Oliver's like, this isn't about Sarah. Oliver's like, this isn't about Sarah. It's about someone else. But then it's about Cyrus Gold, and then he sees Slade. He sees a hallucination version of Slade, who again appears as Oliver's training, and Oliver's like, "You're dead, bro," and he's like, "No," and they get into a fight. He says about how Oliver can't save the city, and they just fight some more. How is Oliver fighting a thing that's in his own head? It was in his head. How could Slade catch the arrow that Oliver throws at the tennis ball? How did Slade catch that? That's just transparent and not real. But yeah, so Slade and Oliver get into a fight, but then we see Roy, and he gets kidnapped by Brother Blood. And as I said before, doesn't make any sense why he's named Brother Blood when he has nothing to do with the actual character in the comics or Teen Titans in general. Why is he named Brother Blood? If he looked like the character, if Hot Dan or Evil Dan looked like the character, I know I'm still running with the Evil Dan Hutchin. Dan jokes, I'm calling him Sebastian Blood because I remember him as Dan Espinosa, but I'll still be doing it because I think it's hilarious. It may have run out, the joke may have run dry by now, but I'm still going to do it because I find it hilarious to call him Hot Dan because his name was Dan Espinosa. But anyway, even though Sebastian Blood / Hot Dan or Evil Dan, it's called Brother Blood, he looks nothing like it. So yeah, so Roy's like, hey, are you going to kill me? He's like, no, Brother Roy, you're going to kill for him. And injects Roy with the Mayor Kudu. That's when Oliver busts in, attacks Cyrus Gold, tries to wake up Roy. But then that's when the hallucination of Tommy shows up. And is like, or the ghost Tommy shows up and says, hey, Oliver, I called you a killer. I called you a murderer, bro. But no, you're not. You're a hero. Now fight. And the hallucination of Tommy gives Oliver enough strength to fight back, and Cyrus Gold dies, and now Oliver has a new mission to find out who it is in the Skull Mask. We know it's Hot Dan / Sebastian Blood, but Oliver doesn't know that, so he thinks that Sebastian Blood is just a normal guy. but we know he's actually evil. So we see Hot Dan or Sebastian Blood meet with a grizzly guy with an Australian accent. And we find out that is Slade Wilson. Yes, it is Slade. He's not dead. He's still alive and has some vendetta against Oliver. I guess we're gonna find out why he probably found out about Chad's death and blamed Oliver for it somehow. But yeah, and he just says that he's going to corrupt everyone out, corrupt Oliver's loved one, destroy others, and take away some people until he made this promise to Oliver and he's gonna keep it. And when he's done all what he promised, he's gonna drive an arrow through Oliver's eye, like I think he did to him because he wears an eye patch. Boy. And also, yeah. So Barry goes back to Central City, is seen talking with Felicity, and he's like, hey, if there's any guy, like, she said she wasn't interested in Oliver, so she's interested in him. Yeah, but then the particle accelerator goes off, and Barry is struck by the lightning of the particle accelerator, being pushed into the chemicals, and getting knocked unconscious with a red lightning streak going up to his cheek. Wow. What a way for the Flash to be created. A live action Flash. We have had other Flashes in the show. If we count Bart Allen, aka Impulse, as a version of Smallville's version of the Flash. And later on, we would have Ezra Miller's take on the character. And years before those guys, even before Grant Gustin, we had John Wesley Shipp's portrayal of Barry Allen in the 1990s show. So, yeah. My Barry Allen for me will always be Barry and Bart Allen, the Smallville version, because that's the Smallville version that everyone grew up on in the 2000s. Even though he's not Barry Allen, he's Barry Allen's name. He's not Barry Allen, but he is to me. He's Bart Allen. He's the fastest man alive. But this Barry, obviously, so that was 1 year ago. I did do this on Arrowverse reviews for crossover week, but now this review is setting ahead with my reviews of the show Arrow itself, and of course I'm gonna do the Flash. Of course I'm gonna do the Flash. I'm going to just stop this universe. I'm going to do the Flash in every show. How long it takes me, I'm going to review this universe. I've seen every YouTuber do it, from Red Reactions to Jordan Martinez, aka Mangold Jordan, and now I think it's my turn to they've reacted to it, but I can't react to it because I don't know how to be a reactor. But I'm a reviewer. That is the channel name, and that's how the channel will say. The episode 10 for Arrow Season 2 will come out once I review it. But that was it for this episode. I enjoyed it. It was great. It was great ending to we actually got to see Barry become the Flash at the end. That is great. That is also a segue to his own show titled, The Flash. So, which I'll be reviewing at the end of this season. Because it's The Flash, then Arrow, and you just continue to back, double between Flash and Arrow each time. And there are some episodes where you do Arrow, then Flash. Yeah, it's really confusing how this universe went. But anyway, I'll see you next time for some more Arrow.